Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. It is so difficult for many to think that they have been waiting for themselves. But dear ones, this particular statement agrees with the channel that I gave earlier in this very program. What if you have been waiting for an enhancement all of this time that would allow you to be different? You realize what I'm saying is that there is a difference at hand. For those of you who have never been part of the Circle of 12, let me give you the premise one more time. This beautiful soul of yours has been spoken of for eons as a part of the spirituality of the human consciousness. It seems to ride separately than the human body would in the scheme of chemistry or physics or reality. It's seen as a multidimensional spiritual part on the other side of the veil. It is not something that has been seen as part of what you carry while you're on earth, for the exception of one thing. Something that has been called for years the higher self. And even that has not been seen as part of the soul completely, but as a higher spiritual part of the human being's consciousness while you're here on earth. Now suddenly, that's different. And I say suddenly because over a period of 30 years or so, I've been talking about this very thing and the possibility of it happening. Suddenly to us is anything that is under several hundred years for development, for you, for humanity. For these things happen slow. This one didn't. This came with the precession of the equinoxes on schedule as foretold by the ancients. This was the 2012 experience. This is something that is happening quicker than you thought. The earth has changed, hasn't it? Did you ever feel that you were here on purpose? Did you ever feel that you were here on purpose, but you wish you weren't? All of these are those attributes to do with change, paradigm shift. Things that really humanity doesn't like or want, except that this one is creating shifts that are different. What happens when an entire planet has a slight shift of consciousness and starts to look at themselves with a little more integrity, with a little more kindness? What happens when human nature starts to shift just a little? And when you thought you had figured out humans and suddenly they start reacting differently to certain situations or stimulations that always produce the same thing, and instead now it doesn't. Things that always produced anger, and suddenly there's a pause, and instead of anger there's observation, there's logic, and perhaps even kind action. These are what we're talking about. We mentioned it in the channel, that this particular civilization is starting to look at itself differently, expecting better things than any other civilization, and not accepting what is going on that is incorrect or inappropriate. The Circle of 12 is an exercise that says your soul is not something that is simply on the other side of the veil. Your soul is something that has been with you the whole time, but the tools of today allow you to visit it in a way you never could before, to use it in a way that you'd never done before. It's outside of what anyone told you could be who was a spiritual leader. They would not have told you that you can go into your soul and take a look at that which you need to look at. to go into your soul and have those who have lived before or those you've loved and lost and have conversations with them or have wisdom given for them to feel a peace and an understanding of the system of life and death instead of sitting on the planet and simply mourning the passing of them. No one told you that you go to that beautiful soul of yours and visit your own Akash and look at your own past lives and give a good look to who you were and why. All of that has been part of the circle of 12. But there's one common denominator. Every time you go, there's love. That's all there is. Everything you experience is postured in love. That's all there is. And pretty soon you start to understand it is a very safe place for you to be and go to. And suddenly I tell you, there is a new energy on the planet for you, coming from you, called the power of life. And this then shakes hands with everything I have said about why the circle of 12 is new and it works and you can do these things, because you have changed. Your esoteric footprint on the planet is growing. The planet knows it. Those around you know it. It's subtle, but it's there. You are far more powerful than you ever were before. This power of life comes also with something called the light, the energy of light. It's more than light language. It's a light that you carry, a metaphor of awakening, enlightenment, wisdom, and awareness of what is really going on. That combined with this power of life, this bigger imprint that you have, creates a wiser being. And how does that relate to everything? Let's cross the bridge and see the first aspect of it for this month. This bridge looms before you. It can be any size, but it has something on the other side of it, dear ones, this metaphor of you traveling from the known, which is here, to the unknown, which is there. Crossing to a multidimensional place that's beautiful, dripping with love, compassion, kindness, and all the things you wish the earth was. And every single human being has that kind of a soul. What they do on this side of the veil is up to them, but it starts with love. Let's visit it yet again. Come with me. Take my hand. Oh, we cross this bridge yet again, as we've done so many times, through that mist, and instantly we invite you to feel the safety of everything that is. There is nothing negative here that will ever be able to affect you. Nothing. If you fear this, this is your own humanism that fears it. It does not come from your soul. These 4 weeks of this particular circle of 12 and the channelings thereof in the episodes will be all about this new power of life and the energy of light. And in this we are going to revisit going through a portal into a train station. Yet again we go to this train station, and it's enormous. It's all metaphoric, dear ones. It has to do with you and your life force on a train track that you are then sending into the future. That's the metaphor. The train is on a track, and as it leaves this station, that track goes into what is the unknown, the unexpected, what you call your three-dimensional future. Your soul is timeless. There is no future. It's all steps in the now. But we treat it for your consciousness as the future. And we say to you yet again, as we said in the channel before, what if you could send before you into your own future yourself? And you could put on that track what you want to meet: benevolence, correct things for you, health, extended life, abundance, few surprises, What if you could paint the track with that energy of you? What if you could take your own life force and put it on that track or more? Would you feel comfortable or more comfortable about what is to come for you? And the answer that most would say is that if you get this metaphor and this premise, if you truly understand it, you would say, wow, that would be something. I don't have to worry about all these unexpected things crashing around me. I feel so victimized by the planet when the phone rings and I don't know what's going to happen and all these. And I'll say all of that is a setup, a programming to fear that which you don't know. So in front of you, let's put what you do know, your own life force on that track. So as you arrive in these places in the future, you find just what you put there. Love, beauty, wisdom. This train of yours is a steam train. There are so many who love these older trains. This is a metaphor for things that work. Of course, it's very dynamic. It makes a lot of noise. That is simply part of the charm, you might say. This old train. It had such a history in your past and the past of so many countries. And here it is ready to go on this track. The train represents you and your life, but this train is different from the other trains that we have had in this past circle of 12. This one has a passenger car. Every single circle of 12 will have passengers that get on this train of yours. Now, what that means in this metaphor, since the train is you, is that you, your life, and this passenger car is going to put someone, something, some consciousness into the passenger car and send it into your future. Who is going to be on that car? This implement and imbuing of energy into yourself on the train. I want you to invite the highest conscious masters that ever lived on this planet. Anyone who has ever lived on this planet, been alive, and been a master. And I want you to see them in whatever form you wish. These are ones you've not ever met. You've read about them. Perhaps you've studied them. Perhaps you've even worshiped their energy. And they're going to get on your car willingly. And I'll tell you why. Because every single one of them has taught that you are powerful. Every single one of them has invited you to awaken to yourself, to your own reality. Every single one has told you there is a divine spirit inside you that you could be part of if you wanted. Every one of them has taught this. Let them climb aboard, because you're going to send them and you into your own future right now. And in the process, you are going to rest and relax with what's coming, even tomorrow. This is not a far future. This is any day, day by day, turning into the years of the future, but this is tomorrow on. They board the train starts, the chugging starts, the steam comes out, and the train leaves the station. And you watch your own life energy and your own light illuminating that track and carrying these masters willingly who got on you. And they chug away into your future and they disappear. Now, what does this mean to you, really, right now? What does it mean? I would love you to congratulate yourself to say, my future is now different because I have done this. I have sent a piece of my soul in advance of my own three-dimensional life, and when I get to these places that I consider the future for myself, I will meet that which I prepared. I'm no longer afraid of the future. I'm no longer afraid of tomorrow. It doesn't matter, because I'll meet myself. And in that, I'll be comfortable, because I'll meet my own kindness and compassion along with the masters on my train who've made this possible. I, you might say, am filled with magnificence. And you'd be right. Pause and just stay and think about a future that is benevolent for you. Regardless of anything that's happening in your life, a future that is very benevolent for you. Stay and see the shift and the change that's coming. And so it is.